This is Meltdown Live, presented by MyBookie.ag. Use code NEXTROUND at MyBookie.ag for double your initial deposit. You sign on to make a deposit, they double it with code NEXTROUND at MyBookie.ag. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere. MyBookie.ag.
Welcome into the Meltdown. We are here broadcasting live from the Culver studio. I am your host with the most, Mr. Tim Melton. Thank you for being here with us live on a Wednesday as we are all still recovering from what was a very dramatic Tuesday. E.G., welcome into the Culver studio and welcome into the Meltdown.
Thank you, Tim. It feels like I was just sitting in this seat merely moments ago as we delved into a mystery box of surprises, you could say.
Absolutely. We bought our first ever eBay mystery box, and I haven't felt the same since. I have been forever changed and am actually quite worried about my cognitive health now. Um, Tyler, how are you doing, my friend?
Oh,
Oh gosh, we lost Lionel. Lionel's
darn.
out. He actually will probably pass out if he stays in that
Yeah, that's
position long
true.
enough because
Oh,
it
man.
looked like a tough one. How are you? Have you fully recovered?
I don't think so. Still need to schedule some doctor's appointments, make sure I didn't get any unknown pathogens, viruses,
Yeah.
or symbiotes, because I don't know what was in the box we pulled yesterday. And frankly, I'm disappointed in you that not because of the box that's out of your control, but because you chose to spend over an hour of your time yesterday after the show cleaning up all of these DVDs. Not
Yeah.
or not cleaning up, but you did that as well, but cleaning the DVDs.
Yeah, no, cleaning the cases primarily. Inside, they were okay unless they were water damaged and those got tossed. Anything water damaged, anything that had any sign of mold, I figured it was not worth my life to try to clean a copy of Deuce Bigelow European Gigolo. I felt like that wouldn't be
That
a
wouldn't be great on the epitaph.
no, it would not. I would not want that to be a part of my eulogy.
No,
He was so dedicated
to the film.
to this that, European and eulogy have the same first two letters in them, and he died cleaning Deuce Bigelow, European Gigolo. I don't want that happening. So I tossed that one. There were about 10 to 15% of them got tossed. But the others I scrubbed and I waded through the waters and I
Oh,
made it happen and I cleaned them all.
kept the cases?
Oh yeah, I've cleaned them.
Oh.
I've restored them. It's
Mm.
actually I should be championed. I shouldn't be.
Here's why. Um, they were so badly damaged, and it's frankly just disgusting that someone would ship a box that had a DVD case filled with black mold in it. That it would be grounds for you to get a full refund for your order. And also because I'm assuming that box is stuff thrown out because of a hurricane. Um, the seller's not going to really dispute the um the claim,
That's fair.
so you will most likely get the movies and your money back.
Could I also then get a poor rating in response and
No.
ruin
No,
my perfect rating from the seller?
no.
That couldn't happen? I don't know.
I
I really just feel like I'm gonna take the hit and keep on moving forward. That's just the way I handle it. Tyler, I respect the way you
So
handle it.
next week when we open up a box,
Yeah.
say, and I hope this doesn't happen because yesterday was absolutely
I
disgusting.
personally think we should have kept it going today. I think we should have trudged on through
No, no.
and had mystery box 2. Let us know. Let us know.
Anyway, I feel like it would have been worth getting your money back because we could open up next week's box and same thing. I
Could
mean,
be.
presumably, if the first box is a hurricane survivor
Mhm.
and they're all coming from the same place,
Yeah.
then could be a storage unit that got flooded.
We're gonna have to take special precautions with now opening up these
Of
boxes.
course.
I'm gonna get a hazmat suit.
Good idea.
I didn't know that you were you could be rated as a seller or as a purchaser on eBay.
You can for the transaction, but in this case, if they did give you a poor rating, you could ask
Right.
eBay customer service to remove it
Have
based on you getting a flood damaged box.
have y'all ever looked at what your Uber rating is as a passenger?
Yes.
I've only
Have
taken
we talked
Uber
about
maybe
this?
twice.
We did.
So
You've asked this question, yeah.
Oh, yeah, Lance ruined mine.
Yeah, you told us.
Mm,
And you still
I'm still
hold
mad
the
about it.
grudge. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I still hold the perfect 5 there. And then I went into the story about how I had a woman who picked me and my wife up, and we had to listen to Smash Mouth the entire time.
Oh, yes,
It's
yes.
like a 45-minute ride.
And it was a tiny car too.
Tiny car, all Smash Mouth. The Smash Mouth was the worst part. It's not that I couldn't feel my legs, which I couldn't. That's not her fault. That was my fault for trying to book something on a
Yeah.
budget. But, had to be able to afford boxes of flood damaged DVDs. That's what I've done with my life. I hope you make better choices. But, we got a couple more boxes of these. We'll get past them. We'll figure out. Maybe they get better. Maybe the other 2
Maybe.
are fine. And we're just,
maybe, but I'm saying
Yeah.
you might want to be in contact with the seller just in case
Yeah.
that they're not fine, because we don't want 2-3 weeks to go by and the seller not know that he shipped you a bad product.
Yeah. I see we're still having breathing problems.
Well,
You should have seen. So I used Clorox wipes to wipe
Oh,
down all of them.
I don't even want to know. Black.
They were dark brown
Oh,
ugh.
when I got done with it. But the cases, I'm telling you, they look great now for the most part. I
well,
threw out the ones that
yeah,
were
no, black mold, the fecal matter, the
That is a good point.
deteriorating
Mold
one.
wasn't the only concern. We had doo-doo on the case.
detective doo-doos on the case. No, it was bad.
I mean, I'm kind of nervous that we just have 2 boxes in the studio even. I feel like the mold's gonna permeate throughout the space.
See, that's what I was talking to Tim earlier this morning about. I was saying, well, whatever alien symbiote is growing in there will just grow for another 2 weeks before we pop it open. So we might have like a serious threat by the end of this.
If you missed yesterday's episode where we went through and unboxed a private eBay seller's DVD collection that I paid $100 for, got 200 movies, thought it was a pretty good deal, 50 cents a movie. It was memorable.
It was so much fun.
It's memorable. Fun is one word. I had to do the cleaning. Y'all left.
Right. Well, we laughed a lot, and I love laughing.
We did, which meant we were breathing more heavily, which meant that we probably are all.
I was sorry not to interrupt you.
No, you're good.
I make this like dip every week. It's just vegetable. It's good. It's corn, not that you guys want the recipe, but I'm gonna give it to you. Corn, black beans, chickpeas, cut up bell peppers, and a serrano pepper with feta.
Sounds like something we're gonna find in one of these boxes.
Yeah, it's delish. But I was cutting up the vegetables and I was like looking at my hands and I was like, "Ugh." Like I bet a little morsel of those boxes are in my dip now. And I
Oh,
washed my hands like 6 times.
you're really selling the dip today.
I know.
EG. That
It's
sounds
good.
awful.
It's good.
So we'll all persevere and power through. I just don't feel like myself today. I'm just going to be completely
Yeah.
honest. And I don't know how many more, like if the next one is as bad as this last one, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what I'd do with the third box.
We
We'd go
we
bury it or
I
something.
mean, we
No.
still open it,
I
but I
say
mean, you also need to get in contact with the seller, start the dispute process because it's disgusting, it's unsafe, and it's also not what you ordered. You did not order flood damaged DVDs
You're
that
correct,
might
Tyler.
not play.
agreed,
Correct.
but I think I don't know. I just we rip off the Band-Aid. We just power through them.
Ugh, I don't know. Here's what we're going to do today. We're going to talk a little bit about the Oscars race for Best Picture because we said things would get nasty. We said things would heat up. They did. I mean, Amelia Perez, the most nominated movie of the year, has been absolutely kneecapped with these old tweets from its main star. And it's kind of looked at as a joke of an Oscars campaign now. So Amelia Perez is pretty much dead on arrival for having any chance at Best Picture. Tyler, for those that don't know, Oscar voting opened up yesterday to where official ballots can come in now, and it closes on the 18th of this month. So basically a full week to be able to get in your final votes. The Brutalist is a movie that was built for Best Picture at the Oscars. It definitely has an Oppenheimer type flavor to it. And It is an Oscar movie. It's an awards movie. It is an epic. It spans decades.
Did you see that some of the Academy skipped The Brutalist?
Yep.
Is that what you were getting to?
That is one of the main
All right.
reasons why The Brutalist right now is taking on water, because not only did people skip it because they refused to watch the 4-hour movie,
Mhm.
but it has the AI concerns. Amelia Perez has some AI concerns as well. But
Oh, no, that's the last thing that movie needs.
yeah, it has some as well. So Amelia Perez is really just absolutely bludgeoned. Once again, we're having breathing problems. The Brutalist has a very slim chance now to actually be able to garner enough support for Best Picture. The movie that has absolutely taken advantage of this is Anora. Now, when we saw Anora several months ago, it already had the momentum of being a potential Best Picture frontrunner. And then these other two films sort of gained more steam. And Anora just, you know what it did? Just sat back and said, we're going to let the film speak for itself. We're not going to play games. We're not going to get out there in the press. We're not going to fight fire with fire. We are just going to be slow and steady wins the race. It is tortoise and the hare. We're just going to let the hare run out there and
Get pummeled.
absolutely. And that's what happened. And right now, Anora is on the fast track to win Best Picture at the Oscars this year. Because we've talked about there needs to be that movie that the Academy feels comfortable to vote for, where they can basically be like, not only is it a safe choice, but it's also the right choice. Anora's that film.
Mhm.
I continue to say if The Substance had a better third act, it would be a awards darling. It could potentially win Best Picture, making it the second horror film to ever win Best Picture, behind Silence of the Lambs. And the third act for The Substance really hurts it, but it's going to do well in the screenplay category. It's going to do well in the lead actress category with Demi Moore. I think she is primed to win the Oscar. But the movie A Complete Unknown, the Bob Dylan movie, skews way too old for it to be completely wound up in the Best Picture race. It's also not it's very generic.
Yeah, it's a safe choice. It's a very safe choice
Right.
if they were looking for that, but it's not the right choice.
Correct. But it probably has a better chance of winning Best Picture than The Brutalist or Amelia Perez right now.
I agree.
So Anora has sort of taken this spot. And the reason people may be asking, like, how do you know Anora has sort of taken that spot? Because voting is private and it's not even wrapped up yet. There are certain criteria. There's certain awards that happen before the Academy Awards, which is the Super Bowl of award shows for film. And Anora has dominated a sweep of the Critics' Choice, Directors Guild of America, and Producers Guild of America awards. Sean Baker winning Best Director there at the Directors Guild of America. This movie, once again, doing so well with the Directors Guild of America and Producers Guild of America. There have only been 6 films that have dominated both of those guilds that have lost the top prize, and that is Apollo 13 from 1995, Saving Private Ryan from 1998, Brokeback Mountain from 2005, which lost to Crash, Gravity in 2013, La La Land in 2016, where it won for a hot minute. Then they said, oops, sorry, we read the wrong name. It actually goes to Moonlight. And then 1917 in 2019. Anora would have to, once again, fall into this weird statistic of movies that didn't quite get there at the end. And the campaign right now is as strong as it's ever been. Sean Baker seems like he's been pushed towards that Best Director spot, too. And if Sean Baker wins Best Director at the Academy Awards, it's going to be, I mean, no brainer. Anora is going to win Best Picture. The only twist would be if
Mikey Madison can sneak in and win Best Lead Actress.
Yeah, that's not happening. But if, watch it happen now. No, I guess what I'm saying is if we don't see Sean Baker win Best Director, at that point, I'm going to be very confused of what's happening.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like, oh gosh, is Anora this big of a lock as I think it is? But right now, it's completely safe. And you really love the film, Tyler. It's one that you champion.
I do. I think that it sort of blends that sort of crime drama tale you would see from a Tarantino got a lot of good banter between the henchmen and goons, a lot of humor in situations where there shouldn't be. Um, a great performance from Mikey Madison, and I think that this film is probably the most culturally relevant film at this point. And we see just like the prominence of sex work rising, and I think this movie does a great job to kind of show the expectations versus the reality of that life.
Do you think Anora has a real chance to push forward societal change in the way that sex workers are viewed in our country?
Um, ooh, I don't know about that.
If it wins
But
Best Picture, it's
I mean,
gonna be a
it would
conversation
definitely it
starter.
would definitely start more conversations. Ah, man, it's tough to see which way it could go because I could see it going two ways if it does start a conversation. One is that it destigmatizes that profession, and maybe you show more respect to people who work there. Or the other side of that is you take the end scene and how powerful it is and say, no, none of that life was ever worth it, even from the start. And you use it as like you take it as almost an anti-sex work message.
You've seen the movie twice in theaters.
I have.
The second time you enjoyed it even more than the first.
I did. I knew what I was in for the second time. The first time I was just kind of unsure. I had originally heard that it had like almost a Scorsese's like Goodfellas feel to it, and it kind of does at points if you really stretch,
Yeah.
but it does not. Um, so I think I was just kind of confused the first time I walked out, but I did really love the movie, and then I went back and saw it knowing what kind of movie it was trying to be, and I think it knocks it out of the park.
It feels more Pretty Woman meets Uncut Gems a little bit more than
That's what I feel
Goodfellas.
like it is. Yes.
But it's a strong contender right now to do very well at the Oscars with other films being peppered in. The Brutalist may go home with nothing. That's how much of a revolt there is over the AI usage and the length of the movie. And it dominated the Golden Globes, which a lot of people don't like the sort of, oh, okay, you think you get, we're going to take it away from you now that you think you're a winner, that sort of thing. It's like why people root against me in the poker club, e.g. It's because I win every hand and then all of a sudden, I lose a hand and people are celebrating. You know what I mean?
I think that's nah, I'm not gonna say it. Yeah.
Okay. The king is back. Hunter wouldn't say that to me on Monday night. Kind of broke
Well,
my
I
heart.
wonder
he did
why.
say he didn't say he wouldn't say it to you. He said he would not whisper it in your ear,
There were specific
which
requests.
which,
Yeah.
I don't blame him.
I told him not
But
to.
that's what he's into, Hunter. Just accept it.
Anyway, the king is indeed back. Anora is back in the Best Picture race as the front runner, and I think I don't see anything that can challenge Anora right now. I really don't. I think it's done. I think it's an absolute lock based on what we've seen from these other award shows with all of these professionals that are doing the voting, already voting for Nora and all these other sort of situations. So expect Nora to be the big winner there at the Oscars. It was really like a neck and neck race for a long time, and now it
Mhm.
feels like it's completely shifted to being a absolute landslide because the Brutalist, right? Let's say a lot of people want to put Brutalist as number one. There's just as many people who want to put it dead last to
Oh
prove a
yeah.
point.
And
Amelia
there's just
Perez,
as many people who haven't seen it because they say 4 hours is too long.
yeah, not doing that. So anyway, I feel like if you're going to vote in the Academy Awards, if you're going to be someone who votes, you need to watch all 10 Best Picture nominees. Like,
Yeah, we have no special access,
yeah,
no partnerships, no nothing, and we each saw 9. Well, you saw 9.5 of the Best Picture nominees.
yeah, I could only make it through half of Amelia Perez before I had to cut it off. So, I mean, it's truly the worst movie of the year, I think. But I haven't gotten through it. Maybe it gets better in the second half. Anyway, I want to get into the big release this weekend Captain America Brave New World. We've talked about this. We've talked about the publicity around it. We've talked about Anthony Mackie making what was a huge mistake on the international stage and talking about America in a way that a lot of people were like, look, you're Captain America. This is the one thing you can't do is say that Captain America doesn't represent America. And there are other people that defend what was said and they go into deeper layers with this is what he actually meant or he's actually right or whatever. The point is, it was such an unnecessary move for Mackie to make to where it's going to cost the film money. It's expected this weekend to make around the $85 million mark, and then through the Monday holiday to make maybe in the mid 90s of sort of the overall gross, but still being below that century mark, below that 100 million. Bless you.
Thank
Below
you.
the 100 million. And it's a not a great look for Marvel whenever you open up, especially on a 4-day weekend with not $100 million associated with the movie. But there are also people rooting against this movie. I'm rooting for it. I hope it's good. I'm going to see it tomorrow. You're going to see it tomorrow. We hope it's good. We're not
Oh yeah,
on here. I think we've been wrongfully accused of rooting against films. Like
we have been,
we're not rooting against it. We
and
want it to be good.
I watched over 140 movies last year. How miserable would my life be if I walked into each and every one of those
Yeah.
going, it's like, all right, what do I get to dunk on today? What do I get to be mad at? Like, no, we want every film to be good,
Right.
whether it's a Dune Part 2, a Marvel tentpole release, or Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare.
Our favorite thing is being able to recommend good stuff to you guys. That's our favorite feeling in the world. And my hope is on Thursday night, walking out of the movie, I'm uploading a video with the out of the theater reaction, and I'm just singing its praises, going, "This movie surprised me of how much I enjoyed it." Now, we live in a culture where there's a little number that's oh so important, and it's from Rotten Tomatoes, and the first reactions are coming out after last night's premieres across the country, and the embargo is lifted, and people are putting their reviews out there. And currently, Captain America: Brave New World sits at, I believe, 52%.
Oh,
Oh, it's gone up.
It has gone up.
It
Yes,
was sitting at 49.
correct. It has gone up to
Ooh.
52. 60 is considered fresh. So it's got that little green rotten stamp next to it. But I haven't read into any of the reviews specifically as to why, because I want to go in not
Yeah.
looking for things. I want to go in and let the movie speak for
Yeah,
itself.
I barely know like anything about what this story could possibly be. From the trailer, I assume there's a conflict between Sam, the new Captain America, and President Harrison Ford on how they want to do things.
President Ross, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know anything other than that. So I'm excited for it, but I'm not gonna spoil myself.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, this 49 to 52 isn't even this is a stinker. That's you're just in for a boring nothing movie.
Potentially. And so, I mean, but that also
That
means
is to say, if you assume that number is correct,
right. But
objectively right.
see, some people don't understand Rotten Tomatoes. They hear 52% and they think, okay, so it's an F movie. And what 52% means is that 52% of critics give it a thumbs up. 52% of critics
Oh.
say this is something you should see. So it's split right down the middle, basically. A little more than half saying you should see this, and then a less than half saying this thing is a waste of time. So we'll get into the specifics of what we feel about it on Friday with the non-spoiler here on the live show, and then we'll have a spoiler review out there on the weekend. So make sure you stay tuned for that. But we're rooting for it. I'm going in tomorrow, hoping it's a big hit.
To give you an idea on how split things are, I was trying to pull up an IMDb score for it, just to say like, all right, here's what it's currently sitting at out of 10. We have just some random rating. I'm not sure what this outlet is, giving it an 8 out of 10. And then Vulture writing a special article about Captain America: Brave New World titled "Marvel is now a giant slot machine." So I don't know what you're supposed to get from those two takes.
We'll see where the passion is for this movie, especially after opening weekend. The fans are really that's the important part. If Marvel can connect with the fans and get fans going, it was worth my ticket. That was worth the purchase. That was worth my time. Then they win. But if they have people saying that was a complete waste of time, Marvel's fallen off, it's no good anymore, there's some big issues within the MCU infrastructure. And Deadpool and Wolverine was a band-aid. And it was a hell of a band-aid. It was a very pretty band-aid. But we're about to see now what sort of the real truth is for them being able to create new stars, being able to create new stories, being able to create new momentum. Can they do that? Or are they going to have to keep going back to the well? it feels like they already decided we got to go back to the well because you're hearing Chris Evans is coming back, even though he's denying it. Where have we seen that before? You know, I've retired from being in the MCU. It's like, you were just in.
I went into Marvel Studios and signed a contract that said I'd show up for 5 minutes in one movie.
Yeah, you were just in Deadpool and Wolverine, so don't act like it's out of the realm of possibility. We know that Robert Downey Jr. is coming back, even
Yep.
though he's playing a different role. I don't know how they're going to make that work. I'm very fascinated. I'm not.
I think they're just gonna de-age him and like use CGI for variants of Tony Stark.
You think?
But he is Doom.
Okay. We'll see. I mean, they did the de-aging of Robert Downey before in Civil War, I
Mhm.
believe, and that looked pretty good at the time, I thought. And will audiences accept him as not being the Tony Stark Iron Man that we all have grown to love and know over the course of so long? And are they going to undo the greatness of the Infinity War and Endgame moment that we'll never see replicated in cinema again? I don't know. Right now, if you're a stockholder in Marvel, you got to be a little nervous that the stock price is never going to reach the heights that it once had. So, with all that being said, I have some real questions for both of you guys because we're going to play some Tim with Tim. I've
Is it
got
a
10 questions.
competition game?
Do you want to do a competitive? We haven't done competitive in a while.
Okay, we don't have to. We'll let the audience decide.
No, what we'll do is we'll do competitive, but I'll let the audience decide who wins.
Yeah, that's.
Oh.
Oh, you want? I thought
Yeah.
you meant we'll let the audience decide if we
Oh,
play
no,
competitive.
no. I said the audience can decide when we end.
Minus 10,000 points for EG. I'm kidding. I'm not a scorekeeper. We're going to let the audience decide. So here's the way it's going to work. Tyler and EG are going to get into storytelling mode. Whichever one of those two participants that you find to be the more compelling, when it's all said and done, we will award the winning round of applause to.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay.
Sound good? Tyler's getting a sip. He's getting geared up. He's getting ready to go. Here we go. Question number 1. Which one of you wants the first one? Oh, EG wants to go for it. Here we go. Name someone in your life who is incredibly focused.
Incredibly focused. Someone in my life. I would say my dad.
Okay.
My dad is
tell me
very focused. He makes lists similar to myself over what exactly he needs to accomplish that day using the same felt tip pens from Papermate every time in the light blue or the navy, no variants. And he writes it down and he works through that list like nothing you've ever seen before. And if it doesn't make that list, if he doesn't accomplish it, circles it, moves the next day.
I feel like you're very similar.
Yeah.
Like, you're very specific about you got to have the right pen,
Color.
got to have the right list.
Yep.
So this is something that is
Genetic, I guess.
learned.
Learned behavior.
You didn't just accidentally start doing it. You knew
No.
he was doing it before.
Yeah.
But yeah. Genetic.
Yeah. Very focused. Very beep, 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 beep.
Inherited trait.
Yeah.
Okay, Tyler, name someone in your life who you feel like is incredibly focused.
I'm gonna go with Scott Forrester.
Oh.
That man stays lasered in to his monitor every morning. He is someone who will get here early and stay until it's very, very late and then go home and keep working. Never ever just takes a break or has any complaints about his work. He just powers through every day, no matter how much it seems like is on his plate.
Nice.
That's very kind
Very
of you to
kind.
say,
We love
Tyler.
Forrester.
We do. Some of his opinions I hate,
Yeah, Molly's game.
but
What's that about?
I don't hate the man.
You know what? I like Forrester's opinions. He heard your little take about the Matrix, and he agrees with me that the first Matrix is fantastic, and after that, there's a bit of a drop off.
You don't realize how many times in a day it is Tyler and Forrester versus me back there in some sort of opinionated discussion. And then
Yikes.
EG walks in and I'm like, thank goodness EG's here. And then EG takes their side typically.
Really?
Yeah. About 70% of the time you're taking their side.
Mm.
Because you point and laugh, oh, you're a loser, that kind of stuff.
Sure.
It's the truth.
It's not the truth.
I'm not the one scoring the game. You can be honest. The king is back. Here we go. Question number 2.
Well, wait, who won?
No, it's at the end,
It's at
Tyler.
the end. At the end.
Oh,
Yeah, it's a cumulative thing.
okay.
We're not
No,
doing
no.
round by round.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're going to do at the very end who wins.
Thank
so
you.
Everyone keep up with your own scorecard at home. Okay? But I would say it gets more important as we go through the game.
Of course.
Because that's just the
You got
appetizer.
to end on a high note.
Correct.
Fourth quarter.
Correct. Here we go. Question number deuce. As in Deuce Bigelow, European Gigolo. Question number 2. Do you think, Tyler, that you'd make for a better airline pilot or dentist?
Airline pilot, easily. I would get grossed out if I was a dentist. I already, believe it or not, with as much horror movies as I watch, I'm someone who gets a little squeamish if there's a lot of blood or yucky stuff.
Oh, so that's why the the box that we opened yesterday, it
Oh
sort
yeah,
of
I
warped your
can't do
soul.
like real bad smells. I don't know what it is, but ooh, my stomach was turning when you
Ew.
pulled out that Pride
Wow.
case yesterday.
Rough. Ugh.
And
Gross.
then
Just
the
thinking about it.
Tad Hamilton,
Yeah. Yeah. Went a date with Tad Hamilton was
even worse.
covered in brown residue.
So yeah, I'd say I'd have a much better time learning all the controls in a plane and just saying, "Yep, I
Yeah.
got to be on point and be responsible here,"
Yeah.
rather than poking around in somebody's gross
Mhm.
mouth.
I like that. E.g., would you make for a better dentist or airline pilot?
Airline pilot, because I think I would love being able to welcome people onto the flight and go over the little speakerphone that sounds like it's like in their mouth, you know? It's like we're gonna be driving in Atlanta. It's so awesome. And then the outfits, fabulous, very put together. I think the hustle and bustle of going through airports and everyone knows you're a pilot. Awesome.
See, I think you see airline pilots the way that kids see airline pilots, but people generally don't see airline pilots the way you're describing them.
No, I think they're glamorous.
You think they are, but I think most people are like, okay, can you move out of the way? I'm trying to get off the plane.
Literally.
You know, that sort of thing.
Yeah. And I'm like, no. Your little rolling backpack that follows you through the terminal, pretty cool.
I tried to.
You would be a rolling backpack fan,
No,
EG.
no. The all the pilots have them. I wish I could be gifted one of the special Delta pilot rolling backpacks.
For some reason, right now, all I see is the scene from Catch Me If You Can with Leonardo DiCaprio.
Love that movie. That inspired me in a lot of ways.
Like, E.G. would be not a great airline pilot, but a great fake airline pilot.
Oh, I would make people feel like they are going to have the most incredible flight ever, and it's gonna be awesome.
Like, if I'm an airline,
Yeah.
I'm hiring you to dress up like the pilot, but not be the pilot.
To assure people.
Right. And you could make the announcements. You
Oh.
could be like the face of the flight.
I would love it.
Like, hey, everybody, I just want to let y'all know we're doing really good right now.
I would pop out of the little cockpit area and be like, "Hey guys, everyone good? Like, how's everyone doing?
Problem is, everybody go like,
Why
aren't you flying the plane?
I'd say no big deal. My co-pilot has it taken care of.
It's all AI now.
It's all AI. Don't
like-
worry. Autopilot.
No. Anyway, speaking of great dentists, considering neither one of you want to
Yeah.
go into dentistry, thankfully we have a team.
We
Well,
do.
we know we just wouldn't. There's no way we could ever measure up
No.
to Dr. Brian.
No.
That is correct. Dr. Brian, Dr. Jeff, and Dr. Nolan. I like to call them the Avengers of dentistry.
As you should.
I've never once called them that, but I like to call them that.
It
And we're going
rolls
to
the
start
tongue.
calling them that. Yes. Over at Alabama Dental Associates on Grants Mill Road, providing you all sorts of services when it comes to staying on top of your dental health. Whether you have that nagging toothache or you need to get on top of those regular cleanings, they're there for you. Maybe you're new in town, need to make sure you have a dentist on standby. This is the team that we trust over at Alabama Dental Associates. Dr. Brian, also a really good poker player who knocked me out.
He did.
7th place Monday night. I'm still not over it. They're accepting new patients now and can help you feel at ease about all of your upcoming dental procedures. For more information or to make an appointment, call them 205-956-8977 or visit alabamadental.com, where they look forward to seeing you. All right, next question here. What's something, E.g., you use regularly that comes in a spray bottle or has a spray setting?
Dawn dish soap, the spray bottle.
I used to be a big fan. I'm away from it now.
Really? Why?
I've decided to go back to the
Gel formula?
gel form. Yeah.
Yeah. It's cheaper for sure. Since I am only doing dishes for one person, I find that it's a better experience. So I'm willing to justify the cost. But that is something that I continuously use. I like the smell of it.
For me, it wasn't the cost. It was I got choked on it several times. Like just it being in the air. Like
You're not supposed to drink it.
A lot of people actually that now that you mention that, that is one of apparently the worst things you can have in your house
oh god.
is the Dawn spray because it makes you sick. Like It's not good. The fragrance in it is outrageous. I like the smell, but you made a good decision doing that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Tyler, what is something that you use regularly that comes in a spray bottle or has a spray setting?
So I do not have Dawn spray in my house. I've just got regular gel. Sounds like EG's been spraying a little too much over
I
there.
guess so.
I use told this before, but I buy 100% pure essential peppermint oil.
Yeah.
And I will take a few drops of this, maybe 10, 12, and put it in a spray bottle along with some hot water, shake it up real good, and then spray it on my vents, my front porch, the stairs, really all around my apartment building, just around the perimeter on the sidewalks and areas. Because as we've mentioned before, I live in Raccoon City and I got to do something to keep them away.
Yep.
And turns out raccoons hate the smell of peppermint.
And it's worked?
I always say this. I don't want to jinx it, but haven't seen nothing.
Gotcha. Okay. We're going to move on to this. Are you a fan, Tyler, of loaded tots? Loaded tater tots. Are you a fan?
No. If I'm loading it up, I'd rather go fries. I think tots are a bit too thick, and I don't know. If I'm having a loaded appetizer, I would want it to be more thin and crunchy rather than more, I don't know, thick and doughy, pillowy potato texture.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
EG, are you a fan of loaded tots?
I am. I like when they're spicy, and I like a minimal kind of garlic aioli on top or chipotle moment. I love.
It's mayonnaise.
What?
Aioli. It's just fancy mayonnaise.
No. It's delicious. But with that being said, a thin formula, I like a deep fried tot, so a little crunchy on the outside, maybe a little bacon, dare I say. Pretty good.
No one's daring you to say it, but if you have said it, then dare
I
it
said
be
it.
done. There it is said. So it is said. I like buffalo chicken tots
That sounds delicious.
with some chives on there, some ranch dressing,
Ooh.
some buffalo sauce.
Yum.
It's good as long as we can keep the jalapenos off of it because I can't handle the heat.
Can't handle cilantro.
I can handle cilantro.
At least you can handle cilantro.
I can handle cilantro. What? What are you talking
What
about?
do you think, EG?
I don't know. I feel like we've had this discussion that cilantro was a sore subject.
What did I have with cilantro? I had something. I had tacos with cilantro
And you're
on
like,
it.
whew.
I'm not sure it was the cilantro though that was tearing me up. I think it was the sauce that was on there.
The pepper got you?
Sauce was on there. I don't.
There was sauce on there.
Hmm.
Yeah, they're tacos. They're Southwest tacos. They have a sauce and then the cilantro sprinkled on top.
I thought that was like a chipotle mayo type deal.
Chipotle, right there. Yeah,
Mayo,
Chipotle.
right there.
No, the chipotle spicy mayonnaise.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like to call it spicy aioli.
Oh yeah, aioli. Team
Move on to
aioli.
this. If you were cast in a western, Tyler, would you rather be the town sheriff or the notorious outlaw?
Mm-mm.
I don't see myself as either, to be honest.
Oh.
I see myself as the guy who manages
The
the
barkeep?
tavern. Yeah,
Yeah.
I see myself as a good barkeep.
I was actually on the same wavelength as Tyler with that. Not me being the barkeep, but I pictured that.
So you're not going to answer the question. Got it. I mean, yeah, I see what you're saying. But I'm saying that those are the only two roles available. Which side are you going? Still barkeep? That happens to be the town sheriff?
I'm still the barkeep.
Whatever. That should I just want to say this to the chat. That should disqualify Tyler, but we're going to let it slide. We're going to let the chat decide.
Chat, I'm not gonna tell you what you should do because I believe you have your own free will, your own voice.
Yeah.
So use it how you would like.
Okay. Oh, I hate how charming he is.
I know.
E.G.,
Yes.
are you going to be the town sheriff or the notorious outlaw? And don't say you're going to be the pedicurist in town.
No, I'm
okay?
not. No. I would like. It's hard. I think I'd rather be the outlaw.
You are wearing all black
I
today.
am. I think I'd rather be the outlaw.
Yeah. That sounds right.
Yeah, I feel like it fits.
Let's move on. How often, E.G., do you back into a parking spot?
Oh, quite frequently.
Why?
Because I don't know. Sometimes it's more fun.
It's going on side quests when she drives.
I do think it's more fun sometimes.
I always feel like backing into a spot, even if there's no other cars around, is more stressful.
Really?
What do you mean more fun?
Because you can't hit, like, it's more, the stakes are a little higher.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you would be an outlaw.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she's gonna turn the poker club into a Russian roulette club.
That sound nice.
So the stakes are a little higher.
That tracks. Okay. Tyler, how often do you back into a parking spot?
Never, because it feels more stressful, and I just don't need that if there's an open spot that I can pull in forwards into.
I would like to tell the chat that I believe Tyler should be eligible for the win again.
What?
He should not be disqualified. I
Oh
just
my
want to point that
gosh.
out. Okay, we go to this. Question number 7 of 10. What is something, Tyler, that you wish you had invented? What is something that you
Ooh.
wish you had invented? Like, have you ever seen something and be like, gosh, why didn't I invent that? That's what I want you to answer with.
Ooh.
So it has to be something within your lifetime.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see now, because I had originally thought the wheel,
No,
sliced bread.
no.
No,
Wheel.
none of that's gonna work. Um, I'm gonna go with Bitcoin. I wish I had been the creator
Mm,
of the Bitcoin.
Do we know who the singular creator of the Bitcoin was?
Supposedly, his name is Satoshi. I think it's Satoshi Nakamura, but that could also be a pseudonym for the real guy. It's a very
Any
complicated story for no reason.
Any idea what their net worth is, or if they're even still
Oh,
around?
trillions.
Trillions.
It's gotta be. It's gotta be.
Okay. E.g., while Tyler's looking into
Yeah.
that,
Yeah, Satoshi Nakamoto.
any idea net worth?
Net worth. Oh my. So they don't list his net worth in dollars.
What
They
is
list it in Bitcoin. It's between 750,000 and 1.1 million Bitcoin. So let's just go into the Bitcoin
Conversion,
calculator
yeah,
right
here we go.
here. So that would be that would be 72 billion? Yeah, 72 billion dollars.
Wow.
Good answer, Tyler.
A lot of money.
E.g.,
Yeah.
it's not just about the money, it's also about the pride of creating something.
Yeah.
And I just said the word
Well,
pride, which
that dude gets to be able to say, I created. Well, actually, he doesn't say anything. He's secret. He gets to have $73 billion, and nobody even knows if it's really him.
Yeah.
that is correct.
So my initial reaction was, have you guys heard of the bug thing? So it was on Shark Tank, and I suffer from mosquito bites during the summers. Like, I am a magnet for mosquitoes. It's awful. And so I was gifted the bug thing from Mikey, actually. And it's this little device, and you put it over a mosquito bite, and you do this, pulling whatever thing. It's like about that big. You keep it in your car.
I'll act that out one more time. What do you do?
It's like you pull, and it's
I'm
a little
more
handheld.
confused than ever.
It's like think of it as almost like a little syringe. And then you put it over the bug bite, and the suction, it basically, I don't know how it works, but it takes the itch away, and it works. And I wish I would have invented that. It's really cool. It's a functional product you can keep in your car. It's relatively low cost to make.
It's called the bug
The
thing.
bug thing. I have a pink one.
Wow.
Yep. So that would be my pick. Takes stings away too. Stings and itch from bugs.
I feel like I've seen that sort of technology
Yeah.
used with like a whole bunch of stuff now, like a bunch of acne stuff too. Like get rid of pimples by just squeezing them with this thing.
Yeah.
I
But
thought the box yesterday was going to be the grossest part. No, I'm kidding. Okay. Well, 2 great answers. Would not have ever guessed you guys would have gone down the paths you went
No.
down. Okay, let's go to this. For $10 million, E.g., 10 million.
Yep.
It's a pretty good number.
Pretty good number.
We're going to say that that's after taxes, right? 10
Oh.
million. You're
You're
take
taking home in my
10
bank.
million.
Okay.
Would you rather be forced to wear a football helmet nonstop for 6 months? You cannot take it off once. You could still live and wear it for 6 months.
Ew. Okay.
Or remain completely barefoot for 2 years.
It's an interesting question, Tim.
Which one of those two do you find to be
Have to sleep with the football helmet on.
have to sleep with a football helmet on 6 months, and then
And
you're $10 million,
barefoot for 2 years.
and I'm talking about everywhere you go.
I think I'd be more uncomfortable that 6 months with the football helmet on all of the time. Barefoot seems more practical, but for 2 years, I don't love. I'm gonna go football helmet.
You think it's a fair question? Like, it's not an easy question. Like,
It's not
how
an
you have
easy
to really think
question.
about it.
It's not an easy question because I'm thinking, okay, 6 months, I would be only 2 months into that venture right now, and I'm looking, for June. Between now and then, my lifestyle could accommodate potentially a football helmet on my head at all times. Wouldn't be ideal. Have to do it at the start of the year instead of football season. But shoes barefoot for that long, I wanna travel, and I barefoot at the airport right there. I mean, that's hard.
It is.
It's not good.
But at least you don't have to put your shoes in the bin and get them
I mean, there is a
checked.
level of, ease, but I don't think it's worth it. Football helmet for 6 months and just have to learn how to love it.
Tyler, football helmet for 6 months. You cannot take it off, or else the deal
This
is
is
done.
easy, so easy. I'm going barefoot for 2
Oh,
years.
that is so
Why is
nasty.
it so easy?
It's so easy because I'm more comfortable barefoot anyway.
Well, yeah, but,
I typically go barefoot if I'm just, like, at home. I don't wear socks. If I would choose to go barefoot if I could, if it were socially
so,
acceptable.
Really?
you walking up
Yeah.
to, like, a DoorDash delivery house with bare feet is, like, totally fine.
They wouldn't care.
I mean,
No,
they
it's not
wouldn't care.
that.
Most of these people are nasty anyway.
Exactly,
They're
so
like,
then
let's be real.
you're walking on their nastiness. That's what I'm like, "Ugh."
Well,
Now,
you see, I've just been so accustomed to being barefoot. I mean, yeah, we are in Alabama. It's not unnatural to do so,
does it
and I feel like there's been some calluses built up on the bottoms of
It's
my
so
feet
cold
to where
too.
it won't affect me.
do you feel though like the 2 years is too long to wait compared to the 6 months? EG's already gonna be, hanging out with her
That's
Then
10
I'm
true. So
million.
you
done.
do get 10 million in a quarter of the time, but you also don't get to sleep.
No, it's padded in there. I mean, I would get an NFL helmet because you didn't specify.
Yeah, you
I'd
can
get
wear a Guardian cap. I
I'd
don't
get
care.
Patrick Mahomes' helmet. That thing is, like, air conditioned, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, so I would do that.
Okay.
See, I was basing this off of the helmet that Pavlik was wearing the other
Yeah.
day.
I mean,
Mhm.
I'm not EG's always got an end to try to figure out a way to make it
And
more
then
beneficial to her.
you've
Yeah, I
also
actually like it. It's very comfortable, actually.
Yeah.
Can I do it for 8 months? That sort of thing.
you've also got to consider the possibility of just it getting dirty and gross under there and sweaty, and
But your feet,
you might get infected.
you're
Might might be
okay,
an
when you
infection.
step on a broken needle, who's gonna be crying then?
I'm used to it.
Oh,
I have been to the ER too many times
Gosh,
okay.
to
gotta
get
you
stuff
gotta get a pair
stitched up.
gotta get a pair of Crocs.
Mm.
I like to rock out with my Crocs out, and sometimes I have them in active mode when I go and get the mail.
Oh, you got the sport mode activated,
Mhm.
strapped on.
Yikes.
I'm hoping to find some size 18 Batmobile Crocs that I can wear around the neighborhood when I'm doing random tasks.
I think
Mm,
for that you could just use the actual Batmobile.
Yeah.
nice.
All right. We are only 2 questions away, and then you guys in the chat are gonna determine who wins today. Is it EG or is it Tyler based on the answers that they've given? Yes, but also the passion behind their answers. That is actually what is the secret sauce of judging a 10 with Tim game. Here we go. Question number 9. EG, when do you start looking at possible Halloween costumes?
Tim, this is a great question. I feel like since working here at
Oh,
Disrupt
don't
Media.
waffle.
No, I'm telling my story, Tyler, just like I let you tell yours. Um, I have started focusing more on my Halloween costumes. They've become more of a priority in my life. Now, when I was in college, Halloween socials were very important. So I would say around August, right when we get back to school, social calendar comes out. It's on my mind. But now it does get brought up. I would say about once a month, especially with Ush. He's like, that'd be a good Halloween costume. That'd be a good Halloween costume. Definitely in the forefront of my brain. I think Nerds, Gummy Cluster, and Blooper. I have a good track record so far, and I do want to top it every year. So it is a priority in my life. Thank you.
So when do you start looking at possible Halloween costumes? You're saying you already have?
I already have.
Oh, okay. All right. But you wouldn't make a decision to purchase one now, right?
No,
You would, like,
I
really
would
start getting
really start
serious
getting serious.
September?
Yeah.
Okay. Tyler, when do you start looking at really sort of deciding possible Halloween costumes in your life?
I would say so growing up, I never did. I wasn't a big Halloween fan. I loved the movies and everything around Halloween, except actually wearing costumes. Not sure what it was. I don't like masks. I don't like.
Comfortable in himself.
There we go. I was comfortable in my own skin.
From what I hear, you don't like wearing shoes either?
Yeah, sometimes. Uh, but since starting working here, we do the Halloween episode, and it is a big event. It is something that we all look back on, and I hope we all remember it fondly when I pulled up in the Pop Tarts costume. So I think I put more effort into it now. So I would say about a month in advance, I'll start looking, and you know,
See, I'm jealous of you, Tyler, because you're not really super passionate about Halloween, but you have the body type to where you can wear any type of costume. Like, you can purchase something from Amazon and it will fit.
Yes.
I can't take that risk. I have to pick things that work, that, are long enough, are big enough, like my shoulders can fit in comfortably.
see, I feel like you would have much more success with going with a nice mask
Oh,
and
yeah.
then just kind of matching your own personal outfit to that mask.
That's what I did this past
Mhm.
Halloween. I gotta tell this story. I show up, right?
Oh,
And
man.
what I was supposed to be, my costume was man who's been attacked by a wolf but
Yeah.
refuses medical attention.
Yeah.
And I came in covered in blood on
Fake
my
blood.
wrists and hands. And Bo, our sales guru up here at Disrupt Media, sees me and is like, "Man, are you okay?" And I'm like, "I got attacked by a wolf this morning on my morning jog." And he's like, "You've got to get to the hospital, like, right now. You got to get to the ER, man. That's awful. Oh my gosh, what happened? A wolf? Like, where did it happen and when did it happen and all this stuff?" And I'm telling him all these fake answers, and I'm starting to feel a little bad about it because he's like genuinely like,
Yeah.
"I'll take you to the ER myself. Like, you may have rabies." And well, anyway, so I already feel kind of bad there. He's not realizing like it's Halloween. Like, he was the new guy here.
Yeah.
So he didn't realize we took Halloween very seriously. So I'm covered in fake blood. And then Tyler sees me.
Oh.
And then I think Bo's like, he got attacked by a wolf. And Tyler's like, "Oh my gosh, are you okay?" And like, Tyler starts coming
Tyler,
up to him.
yeah.
I'm like, "Tyler, you've been here long enough to where you should know, considering you're dressed like a Pop Tart, you should know what today is."
Uh,
Then he tells Scott Forrester, the hardest working
Yeah.
man in showbiz. He tells Scott Forrester, like, "Tim got attacked by a wolf." And Scott looks at me instantly and is like,
No,
"You're
he
so
didn't.
full of crap." Like, it's just
So
immediately
good.
like, "No, it doesn't pass the sniff test." And then Tyler's like, "Oh, wait, you lied to me."
Ah.
So anyway, I felt bad about, but Bo still to this day, I believe, thinks I got attacked by a wolf.
You
So
know, I think part of that situation is like they say that when you don't know something, you often look to the people around you to gain a consensus. What's that person's reaction to know how I should be reacting? Well, I look at Bo and he's worried.
he was concerned.
He's
He
worried. He
was.
thought you were going to lose that hand.
He was like, "Let's go hunt the beast," and I'm like, "Yeah, it'll be okay."
So
So yeah, it was rough. But getting back to people in masks, you had a
I was literally about to bring this up.
I needed to ask, like,
Yeah.
you had a like, Tyler's fighting raccoons at Raccoon
Yeah.
City. You had a different kind of scare last night.
Yeah.
do you have the killer clowns after
No,
you?
well, I don't know. So I didn't even remember it until I looked at the Jason mask that's in our studio over there. So I came back from the Cisks last night and I was pulling into my apartment, and my apartment's on a hill. So I have to, it's almost like a blind driveway going up to the top. And it's kind of late. And I pull into my apartment, and I'm not kidding you guys. There was a man standing there in a hoodie and a Jason mask, just standing there in the pouring rain. And I was like, "Oh my gosh. Like, this is not normal, nor, like, the time or place." Like, I'm like, "This isn't it's not October 31st."
I'm gonna give you the full DVD collection of all the Friday 13th movies, and it will freak you out a little bit more, I'm
Well,
sure.
so have y'all I don't even know
Or if you want to watch them and not get scared, you can start with Jason in Space.
That kind of
Just
sounds
called
funny.
Jason. It's just called Jason X.
It's
but
Jason
yeah.
Okay.
X, but I call it Jason in Space.
But I'm curious what the chat thinks about this because it was alarming. I mean, it's 10:30 at night. There's literally a man standing in the pouring rain outside of the leasing office in a Jason mask, hoodie up, big baggy clothes, just standing there.
Do you have a machete?
Not that I saw. However, I also realized, okay, I'm in a car. If he like comes at me, I will just run him over. Like I'm in a bigger weapon than he has. And I just cruised right on past him.
So if you think about it, like next year, we get Friday the 13th before Valentine's Day, which will be on a Saturday.
Ooh, that's scary.
So we get Friday the 13th, and then we get Valentine's Day, which I feel like if you're going to release a Friday the 13th movie, that's the perfect weekend to do it. It's got to be better than Hard Eyes.
Isn't there supposed to be one released by A24? I keep hearing that, but I have no
No.
idea if that's actually a thing that's happening at this point.
The Jason movies have been stuck in production hell for a long time of who has the rights and all that. The last one we got was 2009. The video
That
game.
was New Line Cinema, I guess.
Yeah, the video game came out from Gun Media, and then it got shut down, and then there's been a campaign to bring it back, and the rights to Friday 13th and Jason have been really stuck. There was supposed to be a Peacock original series with Jason. It was like I think it was like a prequel series where it's like Pamela Voorhees and Jason, but like a younger Jason maybe or something, but
I would have no interest in that.
it fell apart.
That sounds awful.
A24, I think, was supposed to produce that on the television side, and it fell apart. So Friday the 13th is just stuck in production Hades right now. We're going to move on to this last question. Then everybody gets a chance to vote in the chat of who wins today. Will it be Tyler or will it be EG? You can only vote for one. You can't say, I think they both deserve. No. Vote for one of these two. The 10th one's probably the most important because this is the freshest one for everybody to vote on. Maybe people have their mind made up already. I don't know. Question number 10. Name someone, Tyler, that you'd like to buy a ticket for to go hear speak. Let me try this again. Name someone you'd buy a ticket to go see speak. You'd buy a ticket for you to go to them. They're on the stage. They're speaking. You're watching. Who are you buying the ticket for? I just realized the way I wrote it made no sense.
Ooh, that's interesting.
I can tell he doesn't want to go out on a whimper.
I'm going to go with someone that has some very interesting stories, is a very big personality, wild, but also reserved in his own way, and actually does speaking engagements.
Roll Tide Willie.
No, that would be great, though. I'd love to hear him speak. And that is Henry Rollins, the lead singer of Black Flag, a punk band back in the day. He then started Rollins Band after leaving Black Flag, and he's just always sort of been in the entertainment space after that as a sort of commentator and just really good analyst on a lot of music and the just media landscape.
Definitely a deep cut there, but you would be one of the first in line, it sounds like, buying up that ticket. EG, I have a feeling your answer will be very different.
Yes.
What is your answer?
I'm going back and forth between two. I know I can't say both.
No, that'll immediately cut you down.
I'm going to go Elon Musk. I would like to hear just how his brain works. I think a lot of it would go over my head. But when it comes to business decisions, I think it'd be really interesting to hear Tesla, his experience in South Africa, the United States. I would be really intrigued to just absorb in long form. Hopefully, it'd be like a 4 to 6 hour event and hear just his process. What is his daily routine?
Also, there's a chance in the crowd that he hands somebody $1 million.
Oh, of course. And like see the little X running around. I just think that'd be really interesting to consume and learn from someone who is clearly very successful in the business route, but whose mind is so intricate and interesting. I'd like to absorb it.
All right, so there we have it.
When's the next time you think we'll see Elon on a stage? Doing any kind of speaking engagement or anything?
I mean, I think
He's at
that
the
it
Oval
depends.
Office yesterday.
I mean, I assume he'll have to do them. I'm saying, when's the next time?
You're talking about like a rally?
Any kind of event.
Yeah, I mean, I could see them having victory lap rallies with Elon out on stage talking to people, right?
I mean, I assume they will. I'm saying, like, how far away do you think that would be?
it could be as soon as this week. I mean,
Yeah,
it
I
could
don't
be
know.
next week. It could be, I mean, it could be this month. Yeah. I mean, he's been in the public eye now for months,
Yeah,
talking on stage with microphones and giving out checks and all kinds of stuff. But
yeah.
you're right in that he's got his hands kind of full right now. So maybe he'll take a back seat to that. But all right, who is, in your opinion, the winner of 10 with Tim? Is it Tyler Lionel Johns? Tyler, make your case for why you should win.
My answers were better, more interesting,
Okay,
thought-provoking.
got it.
But you know, at the end of the day, up to you, lovely chat. We get along every day. I'm glad you could join us today. I appreciate all your comments in the
Yeah,
chat room.
okay.
Have a nice day. Hope you vote for me.
And then we have EG, who gets a chance to make the case for why she should win 10 with Tim today.
Unlike my competitor, I do not put myself up on a pedestal at the expense of my competitor's performance. So I hope that you enjoyed both of our sentiments and you learned something from both of our comments. And if you perhaps enjoyed my stories a little more, I would love to have your vote for this week's 10 with Tim.
Aren't you kind of putting yourself up and the other person down by saying you're not doing that?
Do you hear something, Tim? I don't.
All right, so go ahead and get your votes in there, EG or Tyler. Currently, Tyler is in the lead. Charles is saying it's a tie, but saying next week you both play for double points. So he's not choosing a side now. But this is where it gets tough. This is where the Meltdown family, Meltdonia, gets a little bit torn because they like both of you. They want to award both of you the win, I think, and we're gonna see here. Um, Hunter
Wanna keep
Bussey,
reading out the
What did
votes?
Hunter say?
EG and Tyler are tied.
No.
Ryan Pavlik says EG was just in a mood today. Tyler wins.
Pav, I was not in a mood today.
Jeff
Just like to
Roberts,
win.
I'm going with Tyler, but it was close and hard to call. Saybear, Tyler wins. EG's answers were better, but Tyler's stories were more compelling.
I literally saw a masked man and a Jason mask upon my arrival at home last night. I don't know what's more compelling than that. I expected to get the appropriate reaction. There was a masked man in the pouring rain staring into the abyss as I pulled in.
Nick is voting EG.
Thank you,
Ryan
Nick.
is voting EG.
Thank you.
Charles is continuing to say that he will not vote for either of you, that it's a push, it's a tie. Boomer says it's a tie. So with all of that, I'm going to close the voting, and I'm going to say that Tyler wins this edition of
Let's get a
10 with
recount.
Tim. Well, what hurts you is all the people that voted independent, all the people who voted tie, all the people. Those are the people that I think hurt. Are you counting it differently than I am?
I'm going to count.
EG. Let's-
EG says stop the steal.
Jeff is going with Tyler. Saber's going with Tyler. Havlic's going with Tyler.
Yeah, I guess the independents did hurt. That does hurt in real elections too. So now I can speak to that.
Hunter hurt you. Boomer hurt you. Charles hurt you
Charles.
from having a chance there. So
Boomer.
that's it. It's done. Tyler, victory speech? Anything here? I mean,
Oh, look, I have a recast. Thank you.
no,
No, there's no
it's done.
recasting, and it also it's
Let's
fine.
hear your
EG.
voices in the chat, please. Thank you.
How about you say this?
Where's my egressors?
Next time you need to have people like pick a winner. That's the,
I'm imploring you. Pick a winner.
Tyler, before this gets really bad,
Oh
because
my gosh.
EG is, I'm not going to say a sore loser. That's not it. EG's not a sore loser. EG is oh, you think I lost? Let's discuss.
Yes.
Let's
We'll
have
see
a
who
sesh.
loses when your car flips
I mean,
tomorrow.
this is the thing, Tyler. We had you followed the Halloween costume with the very similar answer to mine. So I don't know if that should even count. I mean, it was basically word for word what I had said.
Well, it's like they said in the chat. Your answers might have been better in some areas, but my stories were just more compelling.
Okay. We're gonna
I see some
I
recasting.
mean,
Thank you,
concede your
Charles.
defeat.
Thank you, Hunter.
No,
I
no,
appreciate
you got a
you.
bunch of people scared now that they're
Thank
on a
you.
list.
No.
You got a bunch of people that are terrified
No,
going,
that is
I
not
don't
how this works.
Okay. I'm scared. But I know if I ever need to take one of those pills that you put between your teeth, cyanide pills, I can just stick my head in one of these eBay boxes and it will knock me out immediately and I won't have a problem with
Yes.
that. So Tyler is world champion of Tim with Tim currently. We'll see if he puts his title on the
Golly.
line sometime very soon. That was a lot of fun. We appreciate all of those who cast votes and all of those who sat on the sideline saying, I don't want to cast a vote until they were intimidated by EG to do so. I think the
Vote is a vote.
I'll tell you, you may go on a win streak like none other over the next like 7 attempts.
I mean, I think we've learned something about real elections today. Independents that don't vote can hurt you, and sometimes one of the candidates will say, "Vote for me or else."
I never said or else. I think you actually just said that. Tyler just said that,
Yeah.
not me.
By the way, we have a chat here from Lucine. I want to make sure I get this right. Anora is an abysmal movie so bad. I agree. I hate it. I hate Anora. I just want to point that out. I don't think I made that as clear as I should have earlier when we were discussing. I really don't like the movie. It's 2 out of 5 for me. It's really annoying. It's like The Jersey Shore is a movie, and I don't like it.
And I thought that fit every single character in the movie.
Didn't like it at all. But one thing I love is MyBookie at mybookie.ag. You can bet on anything, anywhere, anytime. That's mybookie.ag. Go ahead, be a part of that sportsbook action there. Use promo code next round, or once again, you can decide you want to go with the casino. Play some blackjack, have some fun there at the casino. mybookie.ag, where you can bet on anything, anywhere, anytime there with our friends at MyBookie. We appreciate MyBookie, Culver's, Alabama Dental Associates, and all of you for making Meltdonia such a welcoming place. And we appreciate your support here of the channel. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button and that notification bell. Really helps us out. And, if you have a weak stomach, don't watch yesterday's eBay
No.
unboxing. If you have a weak stomach, that's not the way to go. It is just absolutely too gross. We'll be back tomorrow getting ready for the big day of Captain America Brave New World as it opens up. We'll get a chance to see it tomorrow night. Let us know what your expectations for that film are. We'd love to hear from you right here on the Meltdown, Meltdown 247. We'll see you again tomorrow, 2 o'clock Central, 3 o'clock Eastern.